Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another fantastic, fabulous extravaganza that I call the Everyman Shout. I drag them all out. Gotta go over the top in here. I am John Everyman, sitting here, people, just sweating, enjoying the summer days of humidity and just like sun sitting on your back. But I think the whole nation's going through this right now. I think coast to coast, everyone, even across the pond. I don't know if you guys kept up I think a week ago, how London was over there sitting over like in triple digit temperature and shit. That is ridiculous what we're going on in here. I have something to sweat, man. This shit is horrible. But yes, it is summertime and I am just suffering, people. That's exactly what's going on in here. But anywho, I'll save my complaints for after the show. I am sitting with a crew, my partner in crime, my ace over here, aka the birthday girl.
Uh-oh. Hey.
Tammy Unlimited. Yeah.
What's up?
Hey, listen, now I didn't want to tell you earlier, and I wanted to kind of hang on till you got here and sat down, but we may have to break out the happy birthday song.
Oh, Lord.
Okay. If you don't know the lyrics, I can have John, find something for you, but
okay. As long as it's something I can sing along to, I got you.
Okay, I got you. But yeah, we may have to try that out in a little bit there towards the end of the show. But Tammy, how are you? It's your birthday. You're feeling good?
I am good. I'm happy to be here.
You look like you're in a birthday outfit. Like this is called birthday outfit, or like
I try. It's a little
make your man jealous outfit
but
or
I'm
something.
Trying. No. I'm trying.
You're trying?
It wasn't the one I wanted, but I mean, it worked. Thank you. It
is. It says happy birthday. Like if you saw this girl down the street, you would think something's going on with her, right?
Yeah.
Like it has to be like a birthday or something. That's what I'm thinking right now. I'm getting that with the outfit. Do you want to tell people how old you're turning? Is it a secret? Women usually have problems with this, so that's why I asked.
No, I'm actually excited. Chapter 30, my grown woman phase.
Yeah, 30?
Yeah.
Oh my God! Listen, I don't know what 30's like. I'm only 23. Mm-hmm. I dye these hairs white, people. If you didn't know, this is all just pure dye and shit. Some of it's cocaine, but I'll get into that later. But 30, man, that's exciting. I love 30s. 30s is
you cut
like,
it.
Huh?
You cut it.
I did. I trimmed it a little bit. Yeah, the missus in the house didn't like the length. She grabbed the scissors. I didn't. I didn't choose the length. She chose it for me. That's That's what smart boyfriends do. Like if a girlfriend has a problem with something, all you got to do is real simple. Baby, you fix it. What you want me to wear? Like, you know what I mean? Like you want it short? You want me to glue some up here for you? Give you like a little ponytail effect up here? Cover the little spot? I do what she says. But yeah, I brought it down. Yeah. Maybe when I turn 25, I'll just, do what I want and let it hit the chest or something,
23, you still got to follow the rules.
Yeah, 23. I'm still exploring my 20s here. For the second time and shit. But yeah, man, I mean, you're going to love the 30s, though. I think it's your last good hoorah to be energetic and do stuff, You got any big plans for the weekend?
Well, I just pretty much wanted like a nice dinner, something relaxing, nothing too much.
A nice dinner. John, did you hear this? A nice dinner. You know what this means, right? Uber Eats. I wasn't trying to put the pressure on you, Jack. Shout out to my producer, John, by the way, hanging out back there. Guys, sitting with us today, man, this is such a cool episode for me, man. These are, when I have guests like what we have here going on today, man, it feels like it's a personal thing, because, I've done comedy for quite some time already, and I've built some real good relationships with a lot of them. Not every single one of them, but, for the most part, a lot, especially the real good ones. But the sad part is that everyone that I built a relationship with took off. No one's around. So it's like you're back to zero, And then you got the 20-year-old comedians walking around. You can't hang out with them and shit. It just feels weird. It doesn't fit the bill. But our next guest, he is a comedian. He's no stranger to the comedy scene. He's been at it for a while. I like to say, for people of your stature, you're more like a seasoned comedian. You
I'm
know?
getting seasoned. Yeah. Seasoned.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'll take the compliment.
Yeah, right. It sounds
Seasoned as hell. Yo.
Exactly. It sounds.
I'm Lowry's, man. I'm in your kitchen.
There we
Yo.
go. Feel it.
Paprika, baby. I'm Hispanic. I'm actually more sazon.
Body of the original seasoning was complete seasoning.
Yes,
We got
listen.
that. Does everybody got that?
I got complete seasoning in my house.
I'm the complete seasoning. You already know.
Exactly. That's my man. He got it right. But yes, people, he's a seasoned comedian. I love his work. I've had a chance to check him out multiple times. And again, we built such a good friendship over the years. I haven't seen him in quite some time. And I'm going to kind of play catch up here with him. And like with some of the comedians I got a chance to know, I mean, we're friends and all, but we don't really know each other that deep. You know, we don't get to know really our background and some of our stories. You know, we just kind of know that you had a good set yesterday and today it wasn't that good. You know, that's about as much as you know in their histories. But today we're going to explore a little bit of that with my homie here. Guys, he is, I still dub you a South Florida comedian, but I know it's no longer the case with you nowadays. But to me, you're always South Florida in this community down here, you know. But we have a South Florida comedian / New York. I'll give it up, you know, / New York comedian.
Okay.
It is our dear friend Paul.
Paul, yeah.
My
What's
man.
up, PJ? Paul, how are you want to go by?
You know, I'm always terrified of saying your name. It's like I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right or I'm reading it wrong. You know, I do carry a little bit of illiteracy on me.
It's a tough name and there's an accent because I'm Haitian. So Jumeleus.
Jumeleus. That's even worse than what I ever had.
Even when I say it, it's like you can tell I'm stressing too.
Yeah.
So.
But what do you typically tell people when they struggle with it? You tell them Jumeleus?
I know I have to because they really want to know how to say it, especially in New York. Everyone's like, I want to respect your culture and where you come from. But what happens is it's really stressful before a set because I'm just like, yo, just massacre my name. Let me just get on stage. But I have it. Jewel as a jewel. I have it phonetically, so it's jewel as a jewel. May is in May. Oos like a moose, and I write it down for them.
Jumeleus. So it's Paul Jumeleus.
Oos.
Jumeleus. Jumeleus.
May is in May. Oos, and so.
But it looks like you were going with PJ now, right?
I'm going with PJ. Yeah.
Seems easier. A lot of people love it. White people love that shit. It's just 2 letters. It makes you sound fun. You know, it makes it look like we're gonna do some sort of cool activity with PJ today.
Well, it's a good name. I mean, because my initials are PBJ, so PJ is one of my work names. Like in some of my jobs, they call me PJ. So that's some people only know me by PJ. Okay. So I kind of like that. Like sometimes I'll be like PJ, and I'll be like, oh, that's not. Oh, I am PJ. What's up?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and it's always like, oh, it's PJ. You know, that's it. Well, this story's about. There's like a whole persona of me that's PJ, and that's so people know. So
okay. So we're gonna keep it with Paul today because that's how I've always known you here. You know what I mean?
All good.
So, but if you want me to later on, you'd be like, John, let's just switch it up. Call me by my acronyms, homie. But hey, listen, man, I'm glad to have you here.
Same, man.
You're not the first Paul we've had on the show already. We already had another Paul comedian. I don't know if you know Paul P.
Yeah, I know Paul P. Yeah.
I love him, man. That's like my brother there, man. He's amazing. And we already had a Paul established for the season.
Nice.
So, you know, you are the second one for the year. I didn't want to spoil that on it. I didn't want to make you feel no way, but, you know, they stole your thunder there.
That's all good. That's what's up.
Yeah, man. But, hey, listen, thank you so much for doing this, man. We are really happy to have you here today, man, on the show. Seriously, brother.
Oh, thank you for having me. A dope setup, man.
Thank you, man. Where are you from originally?
I'm from Miami. Born in Jackson Memorial.
Jackson baby in here, man. We're a special city.
But my parents are from Haiti.
Okay. So you're the typical
first generation.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, born here. I had the same situation when my parents were Cuban. They came here. I was about one of the first or second born here in the United States, in Miami in particular. You know what I mean? So I know that. I just don't know the Haitian side of that. I know the Cuban version of what you saw.
Yeah.
But what was that like, man? So you know, growing up with Haitian parents, or is it typical? Is it the strict Haitian parent, the one that just kind of tells you like it is?
You know, it was you know, coming in. It was always up. It was strict. It was chaotic. It was, you know. They were loving. It was They fed me, you know what I mean? They had rules. They had rules and stuff, you know.
But they weren't sticklers. They weren't the
They
tight
were
parents.
sticklers, but I think they were just so busy, you know, like with life and work, you know what I mean? So I just think I kind of got away. Like, I'm kind of like a more progressive Haitian as far as the speakers. Like, I got all the whippings, but there's some people I heard take it to a whole new level, like kneeling on rice and like
you didn't get those,
like the real torture room effect, like you know, they had to go to work. They had to go to work. They had to cook for, you know, they had to do stuff. So
what area did you grow up in Miami, by the way?
I grew up in South Miami first, and then the rest
Miami?
and then the rest I spent in Kendall.
Really?
I'm a Kendall.
You're a Kendall kid?
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of town, man. Where in Kendall?
Kendall, by Town and Country.
By Town and Country?
Yeah.
Man, so I grew up, I spent a little bit of my years in Kendall too. I lived off of Sunset Drive over there by 152nd Avenue and 157th, in between those corridors.
Country Walk? Is that?
No, Country Walk is, yeah. Country Walk is Coral Reef. That's more further south. It's in that same far west area, but it's more south, where we were just like, if you lived by Town and Country, the mall, we were just probably maybe 10 minutes west of you, straight on Kendall Drive.
I know what you're talking. I know what area you're talking about. Lakes of the Lake of Meadows.
Oh, there was Roseland. There was Lakes of the Meadow. I know what you're talking about. Those are. I don't remember stuff. But those areas where that Walmart is, right there on 157th.
Yeah.
All that was my stomping ground, man. So that's crazy, man. So you were Kendall. I would have never pegged you for a Kendall dude, man.
Yeah.
Wow. Did you like Kendall? I hated Kendall, by the way, but did you like it?
Nah, I didn't like it. But
it was, for me, I'll tell you what I didn't like. I didn't like that, you know, transportation. If you didn't have a car, you didn't exist in Kendall. You know, and I know for a lot of the south of Dade area, it's virtually the same. You can go all the way down to like almost hitting the Keys.
Everything's far?
It is. Everything is far. Where they say there's a lot of things, what they mean by a lot of things is a lot of shopping centers. So if you're a fan of Publix and Winn-Dixie and a nail salon and a Burger King and McDonald's, you're hooked up in Kendall. Like, you can go outside and they're standing right in front of you. But like a real social life, like, you know, beach scene, downtown, you know, seeing things like this, even by Wynwood, you don't get this. You know, you're tucked in between houses and shopping centers, and then they'll scatter a big ass mall every 10 miles from each other, and that's your Kendall life. But if you didn't have a car, you weren't even probably getting to most of those areas, and you weren't going to see the rest of the city, you know?
Yeah, it's true. Yeah,
did you feel that way? Was that what you didn't like about it? What was it you didn't like?
I guess, it wasn't bad. I'm a homebody, so I just was like.
Oh, so you.
I wasn't even like, that's another thing, like being Haitian, I wasn't even allowed to eat other people. Like, I wasn't allowed to eat other places. Like, I just really had to eat what was at home.
Oh, so y'all didn't even go out to dinner. It was just straight house food.
Home, always house food. And I was always thankful. It was always good. So, like, even going out sometimes, I don't even like the first time I started dating, to be like, where you want to go? And I'd be like, I don't know, you know. Is that the Burger King? Is that the Burger King? Trying to escape my mom's food for like a second?
I think they had like a Dunkin' Donuts right there by the.
Oh, that Dunkin' was fire, yeah.
Or La Carreta. You go there, you want to be ethnic and shit. Like, oh, she's Spanish. I'm taking her to La Carreta.
Wait, do you remember Flippers?
Yes, I remember Flippers. The video game spot?
Yeah, the arcade spot. That's legendary. Panda Bear. Please have my party there. Panda Bear.
You mean Dandy Bear?
Dandy Bear.
Yeah. I was like, Panda Bear. It wasn't Panda Bear. It was probably, but we talking Dandy. It's fine, man. Listen, you jogging back your memory. I get it. I would have called it Dandy.
Kendall was cool. I can't, you know.
But you were more of a homebody, so you didn't really experience Kendall like that for what it was worth at the time.
I got outside, but I also didn't want to go out. Like, I didn't want to go outside.
Right, it was hot.
It was always, And I was athletics, so I was always doing, like, running or football or something.
Oh, really? What did you play?
I played football. I played corner.
Really? For your high school? You played in high school?
I played, like, JV.
Really?
They trying to get me to play linebacker, but I was too small. And then, you know, in Miami, people, like, D1 level by the time I was like 15, like 130 pounds.
What high school did you go to?
Columbus.
Columbus? You were Columbus too?
That's why I coached.
That is wow. Okay, so I understand now.
The correlations.
You know, you're making me jog my memory with you too. I know that we had this interesting. Tammy, just to tell you, you know, we had this interesting connection between me and him where I found out he had something to do with Columbus. I didn't know you were a student. I think you were teaching there at the time, right?
I was substitute teaching. I was coaching track.
Oh, really? Okay, so he was in Columbus, and my son had just started his freshman year around that time when he was in Columbus. So there was like a quick little connection there, and I think that's what kind of brought us into that little bond real quick. Every time I would see, I would always think Columbus. You're absolutely right. So growing up, though, I know you were a homebody here, you're saying, but did you have any inspirations for comedy, man? Because that's what intrigues me here. You know, you seem like, you know, and since I've met you, you're more like of a person that has higher intellect versus wanting to get on stage and tell jokes. You know what I mean? That's the impression I initially gotten with you at the time. But, you know, I know that comedy is your thing, and you do a hell of a good job with it, man. But did you have any inspirations growing up? Where did the first introduction to comedy come in?
Comedic. I like comedic acting. So
like
my mom,
skits, like SNL and stuff.
SNL, Mad TV, especially Mad TV. I know that's wrong, you know, but they good. They were good at the time. You know what I'm saying? I did. Richard Pryor is one of my mom's favorite actors.
Okay.
So he used to have like really hilarious like movies. Like I loved all the Gene Wilder ones, like Stir Crazy.
See No Evil, Hear No Evil, See No Evil. That was a classic.
I did all those classic. Like so, with him doing comedic acting, that was like my thing. Like just being silly, goofy, and like physically goofy. It's like another part of me that is like I haven't compiled together in my stand-up. Okay. So that's something like I want to do more. But like I do improv, but the physical humor, the Charlie Chaplins, the goofy hook,
like the
like I fall over this thing and then like I won't.
No, not today.
You know, I know that's why I won't. But I'm just
Jerry
saying,
Lewis was famous for that. Jerry Lewis was an expression. He had comedy. The Three Stooges were always good for physical comedy. I think one of the more popular known ones that does it now, it feels like it's a lost art. Melissa McCarthy is one of the last few that you can see doing physical comedy. It's usually in all her roles. I feel like it's almost unnecessary for all her roles, but nonetheless, it's a lost art. You know what I mean? But I get what you're saying. I like that physical style comedy. I wish it never went away because some of it was just iconic. You just die. Like, I think it's almost like a good example. There's Something About Mary. That had like a very physical element itself, you know. Yeah. Remember when he went to during prom, he zipped up his pants and he caught it over his thing, and he was just like, you know what I mean? They had to back it out the zipper, like, you know, like the brother that was autistic that punched someone in the throat, like, you know what I mean? Like I loved that type of situation. So I kind of feel like what you're talking about there. I love that style. But you growing up, this was what kind of immediately got you with
that
comedy?
Was like my immediate, like as a kid. I don't think I caught Eddie Murphy till later. Just from this, you know, I'm first generation, so I'm a
right. You're slightly a little, younger in this sense, and Eddie Murphy was just a little bit before your time.
Actually, his movies were out and they were funny. Coming to America, yeah, they had the great. I mean, I don't think it was that. There's some Norbit was out.
That was
Nutty
the down
Professors.
years. To me, those are the down years.
Yeah, Beverly Hills Cop. I got that.
Huh?
Boomerang. I watched
Boomerang. So I know what you're saying, but continue. You know, you were talking.
No, I agree. I mean, I got that. I caught the other ones later. But yeah, Coming to America, I love the Beverly Hills Cop.
So you were much a big comedy movie goer growing up.
Yeah, more not stand up because it was just like even both my parents used to crew around me. So I like as far as stand up, I didn't really hear stand up maybe till my junior year of.
Do you remember who were the first few you might have heard?
Bigger Blacker by Chris Rock was like one of my first.
Okay, he did have a good hit with that one.
And then like Cat Williams is probably like my second or third one, and then like Dane Cook somehow.
Really? Yo, you're probably one of the first guests I've had on here that tosses in like Dane Cook in the conversation.
Hey man, I was in Columbus, you know.
No, but hold up. But now,
he's pretty good, Dane Cook.
Yeah, you know, people knock Dane Cook right now, and that's cool. But don't front, y'all. Y'all really fucking know that Dane Cook was bodying stages like in the early 2000s, like 2002, 2003. It was all about Dane Cook. Dane
I
Cook.
gotta go see Dane Cook now.
You never seen him? Mm-hmm. Listen, if you catch his earlier sets, you'll laugh if it's still relevant in a sense, because you know some of it gets a little outdated. But I think his would hold well if you looked at some of his like HBO special stand-ups that he did. They were great. He had like 2 good ones, and then from there, you know, it just quickly went south on him. You know, the community, the world kind of turned against him on that one. You know, but I respect it. You know, I'm not knocking you for it. But
it's not my top 3. It was my top 3.
No, but it's some of the ones you remember at the time, and that's what we were asking about there.
The Pimp Chronicles,
Did you ever see at the time, what was the one, Original Kings of Comedy and stuff like that?
Original King, I caught it later.
Okay.
I caught it later.
Okay.
I watched it, yeah, but I caught it later.
But what happened when you started watching stand-up? Did it make you feel...
Honestly, I still didn't watch it until I didn't start watching it until I had to started doing it. And then it was like...
And then you really started to take it. Okay.
Yeah, I guess it's like... we rented a lot of movies from the library, so everything was just so out. It's so outdated with this stuff.
Right. Listen, man. I mean, we're going back in time. Number one.
Going back in time. So I just a lot of people like, why is your style so? You know, like
contrast. But you got to start somewhere. You know. Listen, I've had rappers come in here and tell me that their first records they listened to were Little Bow Wow and shit. I'm like, what the fuck? You know, I believe that, you know, and again, this is just because I'm talking from an older perspective, but when you hear people and the stuff they talk about, sometimes like, man, you know, when I was growing up, that shit was trash, you know. But you know, I can also respect that for younger people, this was it. This was their time. So I can't knock that if that was your time. You dig? Yes. So then, you know, obviously you said you watched some early on and you really got gravitated with physical comedy, but where did comedy really where did it start to become a calling for you? Where did you notice comedy was going to be a thing for you?
When I think it was like baby steps, you know, because I noticed, I don't know, I felt like people were laughing at me. And then something, you know, I would. You
caught yourself being in the conversation with funny guy?
I just felt like if I turned it on, like I could make everybody laugh, or like even when people didn't like me, they laugh at me, like, you know, or like we didn't like. So I just always was able to get someone to laugh, like even if I didn't know, I can make them laugh. But then I realized it would bother certain groups. So like if I just was like, so a lot of times I'd just be quiet. So because I didn't know how to find a balance. So you know what I mean? Like at work, I might have been like throwing the food, like, oh, what's up? And I'd be like, why are you doing this again? And they're like, you know, so I turn that part of me off, or it's also like, you know, because in reality, sometimes you know you're funny, but in real life, when a person holds court, you gotta let them.
You know, there's a time and a place for everything. You know, and if there's a funnier dude, you gotta bow down to it. I mean, I've learned that too myself. You know, but and then in the sense of what you're saying, when someone else is funnier, sometimes you gotta respect that. You know what I mean?
Always. I love funny people.
Yeah. So if there's someone on the
it's crazy. Like you know, there's like it's different when you're on stage too, because it's like on stage you have to be like you yourself is like. You're a person that absorbs energy and like listens to it, then writes a joke, and you connect with a wide crowd. While like some other people, they just go with the people they're around. They know how to make a laugh, they know how to connect. But they got on stage, it's like it doesn't. You know what I mean? So when you're doing stand-up, I respect that. I'm like, I know what I do on stage is different, but like this person's funny. Like
exactly.
Like they are funny. They're really funny. Like they're not stand-up funny. You know, it's a difference, but.
Do you have someone like that in your family? For me, it was always my mom for the most part. But there's always that one relative that's funnier than you.
I mean, my family, my mom's the physical one.
She's a physical funny one?
She like wakes up in the morning. She'd be like, like kicks in the morning and just makes noises. Like she'll just like always screaming, kicking. Like I'll be on my desk, she'll start dancing on the desk. Like I was like, and
what the hell's wrong with you, lady?
Yeah,
you messed up my man.
Then my dad is dark. He's just like
he's
dark.
He's totally the opposite.
Dark. This like everything's gonna die. Like my sister was like, I just talked about my sister and like, she was like, oh, I have a person, he's a mechanic, he hooks me up with stuff. And my dad's like, you don't have to take it to the mechanic. You don't have to, like, we fixed it. And it's like, and my dad was like, my sister was like, no, I'm going to take it. I know the guy. And my dad, out of nowhere, was just like, he's dead, all right? Forget about it. Everyone, like, my whole family's like, how do you know he's dead? He's dead, okay?
He died. When he died? Yesterday.
Out of nowhere, you know? Just looking at each other, how would you say that? And my mom's like, I've been through a lot. I don't know. It's like, it's like weird. I'm like, Mom, we're not even going that direction. Like, stop.
I would love to be around your parents during the holidays. Listen, man, I'm about to get this TV on discount on Black Friday. No, you don't need no TV. Why the dude gonna hook it up? He's dead. What? This is a great dude, man.
Yeah, man. They both together.
But they were the humor? They were more the humorous ones in the family then.
Yeah, they're both humorous in different ways. Like. You know,
where do you feel like you take some of your humor from your mom or your dad?
I would say it'd be both. Yeah. I would say both. I mean, I think with the stand-up realm, it's more my dad. Because sometimes, you know, I feel like for me, I'm like, the thing I'm trying to work on is like trying to be relatable. It's like, I don't know, I think I get a little too dark sometimes. So I feel like I go into my dad's zone. Like, I think that was something I had to learn early on. It's like, oh, I'm in a crowd of people, they on like date night or whatever. They don't want to talk about that. So it's like, you know what I mean? Oh, this beautiful couple. Why not ruin their day with talking about that? You know what I'm saying?
Your relationship in 3 months? Damn. That shit is fantastic, man. So you got into comedy how many years ago? What year did you start?
Shit, I can't remember. It has to be like 13, 14.
Okay. Okay. Then what was that definitive moment that turned you into a comedian? Where did you take this approach? At what point?
And it's still a process. I was in Texas. I was in school, and one of my teammates was like, I'm gonna do a stand-up night. And it was like in the middle of West Texas. So I don't know. So I invited people that like, oh, Paul, you gonna do stand-up? And I did stand-up. I forgot my jokes. It was pretty much like, no girl wants to be with me, yada yada.
Okay, and those still hold
literally, yeah, they still
sometimes for us. But
and I remember the girl I was like trying to talk. She was they were like, so I was like, yo, it was mad. I was like thrown off my ass, like blacking out, and the owner was like, I love it, man. Can you bring the same act again? But I bombed, you know. And then I didn't do comedy for another like 6 years.
Really?
And then I did it in Miami, and then someone was like, I don't know. I was with, you know, John. So I was with John, and I was
John Gregory.
Yeah.
Okay, shout out to John.
So shout out to John. He was doing stand up way before for like a decade. Mm-hmm. So I was at a bar, and I really couldn't get another drink, and I didn't want to act like, you know. So I was like, me and him were literally taking people's drinks, like not taking them, but you know, the soldiers. I don't know. I'm not proud of this.
It's all good.
I just wanted one more drink, so I saw one that was old. I was like, so me and him, like, I was like, bro, I think I want to do comedy. He was like, oh, you definitely should. And I was like, okay, like, where do I get started with the mic? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, should I have this drink? And he was like, no real man has self-respect. And then we cheers. I chugged it. I did my mic.
What room were you in?
It was in Kendall. It was that
field.
Artistic Vibes.
Artistic Vibes
was like my first real true stand-up set.
Listen, man, Artistic Vibes. I haven't heard that name here in quite some time already. You know, shout out to those people out there. I forget their names. The girl had a cool name. I forget her name.
Vanessa and Quills.
Quills,
yeah.
Yes. Shout out to them, man. They were a very huge staple here a few years ago for a lot of comedians that were kind of starting out. And it was like in a warehouse, right? Mm-hmm. Like in a little warehouse out here, almost like in the middle of nowhere, it felt like. And it was south. It was down south.
Mm-hmm. It was down south, yeah.
Yeah. And I remember this room where these people just had these events, and I think it was like you signed up and and they didn't call you in the same order. It was almost like they called you at a random order. And it was a great vibe, man. I never had a chance. I tried signing up one time. I didn't have enough chance to get on time to get on the stage. But I've heard so many good stories and so many people came out of there. That's pretty cool. So after that first time, did you go another gap after that, or did you?
It was like a 2-week gap. Every 2 weeks I would go and do a set because it was just so emotionally like stressful to try to like please everybody. But you know, the main reason why I did it was I was just so shy, and I was still like in my room still, and I needed to express myself. So I was like, as long as I could do this to be like as a way of self-expression, like I'll keep doing it because it's gonna help me with my mental, my mental health. So that's how I always took it. And then I did it for every 2 weeks, and then I got a little bit better. And then I bombed really hard at this one show. It was like a bringer show.
Okay.
It was at, my friend used to have a spot. He used to own a spot. I forgot what it's called. It was like by Bordeaux under the bridge.
In what area?
It was like Brickell nearby Blackbird Ordinary, maybe like a decade ago.
Okay, I probably don't know it because I wasn't heavy in it about 10 years.
It was called PAX Miami.
Okay.
So, and he had a comedy night. It was a big show, and I invited my sister and her friend, and I bombed so hard. Like, the host roasted me. I was like, I'm never gonna do it. My sister was like, ew, why'd you do that? It was just bad. Like, I actually ran on stage. I did like the sweat moment.
Oh, I have those.
And then but it's like in front of so many people, I was like, I was dead.
He's dead! My set is dead!
Yo, it's still brings me. I had a joke. I don't know why I was talking about Chris Bosh's dick. I don't know why. Just let you know how bad I was bombing. Cause you gotta sift through these weird ass ideas. You're like, what? It's a part of the process.
It is.
You gotta bomb. Everybody bombs. And the more you become afraid of that process, the more you end up in like a worse position, as far as like, cause you can't generate new material without it failing a bunch of times. Cause it's the success rate of jokes is not 100%. There's no such thing as, especially walking to a new bar. Let's say you walk into a bar, no one knows you, especially they don't know you if you like maybe a stand-up only and you haven't been on TV. Like, you really have to go in for the kill, or so it takes a while for your jokes to even be 80%
But you have to
kill
bomb
rate. Yeah, you have to bomb a lot.
Yeah.
And comedians, that's what happens when they become Hollywood. They don't want to go back and bomb because they can't go back and bomb. They're Hollywood.
Exactly. You don't want to do that to your brand at that point. God forbid. At what point did you start to quickly catch on to what you were doing and crafting your work? I mean, what were your initial opinions starting with comedy?
My initial opinions, it was good. It was good for me to get out.
Did you feel like you belonged at the time?
No.
I felt it.
It's not like, because you saw me later.
Yeah.
You saw me when I kind of hit my stride, and I feel like I was in like the first 2 years. So I think the first 2 years I was real awkward. There was more OGs in the scene, and they were really stand-up heavy. Like, they weren't about doing any other media, any other stuff. You do your jokes and you get off. You don't do this what was it, the social media with the V. You don't do the
Vine.
You don't do the vines.
Yeah.
They were very older, so they were very more about like, they still believed in like getting into the clubs and with your jokes and artwork. Even though there was no club. When I started comedy in Miami, there was no comedy club.
Yeah, we had just lost the improv that we had in Coconut Grove at the time. That was the only real considered comedy clubs where you could find them so readily and easily,
Yeah, and it's truthful. And it was also why it was easy for me to do it every 2 weeks. Because there was only one room. I only knew about Artistic Vibe.
Right.
Then like someone would kind of be like, yo, we got another room. And then there was a room, Manny Garavito ran it, and it was like the audience would throw tomatoes at you, like these plastic tomatoes
fuck out of here.
That were branded with his like logo and stuff. And then like if they thought you sucked,
did they throw tomatoes at you?
Yeah. It was the whole point was to try new jokes, and then the crowd disliked you, they throw tomatoes at you.
But what was your opinion with watching some of these comedians over the years? Like, what have been some of your opinions out here in Miami?
Opinions as far as
with other comedians and watching them out here, you know, doing sets. Like, what did you got?
I would say the thing that helped me grow out of it was just a few opportunities I got outside of being in Miami and seeing how people liked my sound or related to my sound. Like, you know, the U.S. is big. Mm-hmm. So what happens is a lot of people, they get frustrated and then they have to cater to the audience. And sometimes it's like, we're not saying like if they're going to a club, they have an opportunity to really cater to the audience, but they have to switch themselves in order to survive in the climate,
that room,
in the room. So I think that's what happens. It happens to everybody. It's like you just want to survive. It's like you want to tell your jokes, you want to work on your jokes, but you know the crowd really just wants a conversation. They want you to roast them, but you know that your jokes will build material for you to like have the next level.
What's next for you here? What's the goal through doing all this comedy right now?
You know, for me, building more projects. Because projects is what makes you an artist. So
when you say projects, more like what, like skits and movies? What are you talking about?
Anything, you know, as far as like let's say I do a half hour. I'm trying to, you know, come out with a half hour. You know, I don't want to say because I usually.
Okay, no, sure.
But I want to come out with some more projects. I felt like I had more projects. I don't know. I felt like
back then the opportunities were a little more.
No, I know. I just feel like pandemic, all this stuff, my life, all this shit.
I'm telling you, man, I'm with you on that. But for you, in your sense, I mean, like, you said you want to do more projects, but like, where do you see yourself trying to take this comedy career?
I think number one, building an audience. You know, I think like getting on IG. Selling, trying to get these jokes. You know, my angle right now is like, I say weird shit. So if I could cut it up, put it on IG, get an audience, you know, because I got a lot of jokes that go 50-50 and I dump them. And then I got a lot of jokes that people like, keep the joke, keep working on it. But I know that it's not, you know, I got some dark jokes. I want to develop my own audience to where they know what they're getting when they see me and they come to my shows. So I don't want to get like a uniform audience. I want my own audience. So my goal is to just keep cranking out jokes while I'm in Miami. Just keep working out, keep cranking out, put stuff on IG, and just start building an audience and try to get on these, you know, try to get on people's projects, any projects, help others with projects, just get more hands-on.
Try to do some stuff. So you're gonna stay in Miami for a little bit?
I'll be in Miami for at least like 4 to 5 months. Right?
Okay. Man, you could do a lot down here, and especially like we talked about, there's so much going on. You know, I could definitely see that from you. You know, getting involved with a lot of these opportunities down here.
I'm about to jump right back into improv. I haven't done improv in like 4 years. I was doing it in UCB, but you know.
But I like that, man. I like definitely. Hopefully, you do get into that.
Yeah, just, you know, go back into the process. You know, I was just saying, like, afraid to bomb. You know, I just felt like just going back. You know, started the first 30 minutes I had started from hard work and just going out there and like taking steps and like trying new stuff and then traveling and doing it. You know, because it's just all about right now. It's just I know the motions is to get back on the bike.
Open mics.
Where can people follow you? Where can people check out your stuff? You know,
PBJ Comedy, PBJ Peanut Butter Jelly Time Comedy at PBJ Comedy.
And that's on Instagram, right?
Jelly Time.
That was a good voice.
Yeah. I like sound. If you need voiceover, whatever, you know, in your cartoons, like you got me. I make sounds all the time. Yo, hit me up, man. Follow me. I'll support your stuff. I love you. I don't know who you are behind the camera. Not behind. I mean, the people who I love you too, but I love the people who are also watching. You know what I'm saying? But no, thank you for having me, man.
I love you, John.
Thank you for wanting to investigate my life and.
Nah, man, I've had a great time. I feel like I've learned a little bit more about you, you know, and I feel like when I do this, especially with some of the people I've worked with, you know, I tend to appreciate them even furthermore, you know, because you know their story now. You know the hard work it took for them to kind of get to where they're at, you know, and I love that. And trust me, man, you've got my support here. I root for you here.
Sue, thank you.
Definitely.
Yeah, no,
man.
Thank you. Happy birthday.
Oh,
you know?
Yes, we're gonna get to that in a second. All right, so what we've been doing this year, man, I've been checking with my guests, and since it's season 5, we want to figure out what your top 5 is. But we take top 5 Dolphins. Go for it. I should have done that. That sounds a lot better.
Bro. Yeah. I mean, I had Zach Thomas and Jason Taylor's rookies. So, and that was the era I was watching.
Those are legends, man.
Yeah, so I'll go Zach Thomas, Jason Taylor.
Okay. I think we mentioned Surtain and Madison.
Damn. I played corner, Surtain and Madison, and then Dan Marino.
There you go. Listen, man.
Oh, damn, wait, how could I forget OJ McDuffie? That was my favorite receiver.
Listen.
I'll go OJ McDuffie. I'll take out Madison.
Okay. Right. He's cool. He's coaching for the Dolphins now, and I don't know if he watches this show, but it's cool. We still have you on our list.
All right, it was six people. Yeah, that's so good.
That's dope, man. I really appreciate that. So, my friend, did you have a good time?
Yeah, I had a great time, man. Thank you for y'all talking to me.
Nah, man, seriously.
Make me feel special, the lights and stuff. Thank you, John, man.
Yeah, man, listen, we don't pull these lights out all the time. We got to pay the light bill on here.
I know, none of this shit is cheap, man.
I'm like your dad when FPL calls, I'm dead. Hang up and shit. Tammy.
Yes.
Are you ready for your birthday weekend? You ready to have some fun this weekend?
Oh, yeah, I'm just ready to get some rest.
Yeah? Guys, make sure you see that sign pop up here, a little search box. Look us up, Everyman Podcast Show, on social media, on any streaming platform, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, you name it, we're on there. You want to go on YouTube, or if you're seeing this on YouTube, search us, Everyman Podcast Show. Hit the like and subscribe button. Get your notifications. You will hear amazing stories like these and meet great people telling us about a lot of things, man. And why not? Learn yourself something. Here's some freaky deaky stories sometimes. You never know what we're going to do in here. Hell, we're going to sing happy birthday right now. So, guys, make sure you do. Search us, Everyman Podcast Show. We'll see you in the next episode. Deuces, people. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Aunt Tammy Unlimited. She's not going to drop the Unlimited. She's really cool. She just hit 30. Happy birthday to you.
Oh, I think you got
You see that?
Pa' arriba, pa' abajo, pa' centro, pa' adentro. Yeah! Cyrex. Oh, they said they ain't cutting the lights off. Okay, I was just making sure.
You don't pay me enough.
Yeah, the sound guy says it's over. Fuck you. I don't even care if I got nothing to do with the electricity. I'm just out of here.